Good morning, friends. It's Nancy. I hope you're all doing well. And today we're back to work on our Spellbound journal. And we're going to be working on the collaged envelope pages that I showed you how to make. And I am so happy you all thought they were great. I think they're super cool. And I have another idea to do with envelopes, so that it'll be further down the road. But if you remember, I have 3 signatures in my journal, and so I wanted to make an envelope page, a collage page for each signature, okay? So the premise of my book, my journal, is Spellbound, and you already met the coven of witches that live there. And so I decided that these gals have shops in town, 3 shops, okay? And I have the names of the shops, and each, there are witches that work at one shop, another shop, and another. So the coven has 3 shops in the town of Spellbound, okay? The first shop, well, it's not in order yet, but anyway, we have Brooms and Brew Cafe, we have Petals and Potions, and Bell Book and Candle. So 3 shops, 1 for each signature, okay? So then I went down my list to see looking at the witches and what their talents are, I kind of put them in an order of working at the shop. So I did that, and so I figured the envelope collage pages would represent each shop. That's what I'm doing. You kind of go with what you're doing, and depending how many witches you have in your book, if you have any, or whatever. Okay, so the envelope pages are going to take quite a while to work on. I'll show you the one I did first, and it's not even done yet, but I had to start to know what to explain to you, because this is all new to me too. So I spent about a few hours just doing what I did on the first one, and it's not even done yet, but I thought we could start another one, and I'm going to tell you my thinking of how I approach this. So all right, I know you want to see it, so let me just move this out of the way for a second and show you. This is going to be Petals and Potion shop. And I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to explain to you. I love it. I just want to say I love it so much. So this is going to be Petals and Potions, and I will tell you the digitals that I'm using and what I'm doing for it, but I'm just trying to show you what it looks like right now so far. And it's not done. It's not done. It's gotten further, but it's not done yet, okay? I've done a few things, but I want to do so much more, okay? So I sat and thought about it for a while, and my idea was, before I even glued any papers on, was depending on the papers I picked, I wanted to ink around all the edges. All the edges, inside, front, and back, because when we put on papers, you don't have to worry about getting it to the edge. You see how the edges here are green, you can see. So if you ink all your edges all the way around the best you can, let me just put that there. You see, this is all inked in here. I even inked this envelope like this, and I love it. I don't want to cover this part up, and all I did was put a piece of my sprayed book page on there to cover up the markings on the envelope. But this envelope is, so I would suggest, depending on the papers you're going to use and the theme of your page, I would get some inks and ink around all the edges that you can think of. that would be the first thing to do once you get it to the collaged envelope stage, okay? Then I started collaging. Okay, so that's as far as I'm going to say so far. Now you can see there's manila pieces in here. You can do this too whenever, even before you ink. You know where your X's are, so you know that's where your tucks and pockets are. So what I kind of did was I told you, go to a Dollar Tree and buy yourself a few packages of those manila folders they have there, because they're not as thick as a normal manila folder. They're like a cheaper version, but you know what? They're great bases for tags and things. They're perfect. To me, they're yeah, I just love them. So I always, every time I go there, I buy a couple packs to have. So that's what I'm using to make all my tags and journal cards and whatnot for this journal. And I usually do that for all my journals. Usually, unless it's a printout and I print on cardstock. But anyway, so what I did was I started measuring the depth of some pockets and tucks. Like this one's a short tuck. So I kind of measured the opening here and how far I wanted it. I would cut a manila piece. That's all I cut, and I tucked it there, so I know that's a tuck. I know here's a pocket, so I measured the depth and width, cut another piece, stuck it in there. This envelope here, the same thing. For now, that's what I did, because that's like a base to work on. Okay, did the same. So I went around and did that. Oops, I'll have to make a little pull out for that. Here's another pocket here, so I kind of measured the width and depth. Here also, I put that there for now, so I know that's where another piece is going to go in here. And then as well for this tall one here, I measured, put a piece there. And then this one is on both sides here, so I'll turn it over here. We have a piece here that goes in here. I can trim it down a little if I want. This one here, you can see on both sides, inside and back. So some pockets are like that, right? It just works out that way. So that goes in here like that. And then front, I have a pocket here and a pocket here, but I already know what's going in there, and I'll show you that shortly. So I have a pocket here and a tuck, well, a tuck and a tuck here, and this is a big pocket, which I already put something there, but I'll tell you that in a minute. I just don't even know how to start. I'm so excited to tell you, but I hope I explained things to you. So if you have any questions from watching, tell me in the comments, and I'll try to be better. You know, I'll try to, either throw another video out to explain things to keep you going, okay? So that's what I would suggest. What I did is, once you have this done, you're going to pick your papers, and then according to the colors of your papers that you're using, I would go and ink everywhere, anywhere there's joining. Just give it an ink, not here, because this will be covered here. I wouldn't do that, but I would definitely do all the edges, and then like the edges of the pockets where your pockets are going to be, because you don't want to see the white. And I would, definitely go down the middle, anywhere your edges are. You'll know what to do. Okay, let me just put this to the side for a second. So this is the first one I started. This is going to be the Petals and Potions shop. The kits I used for collaging here on the Petals and Potions shop are, hold on. I'm looking at notes hanging everywhere here, and I hope I have them written down. Ruby and Pearl. And, oh my gosh, what is this one called? Really? I thought I had it written down already. Hold on. It's a Ruby and Pearl. I have my notes right here, and you think I have it. Well, from Ruby and Pearl, I have Little Witch. She has and then it's a, oh, I'm so sorry. What is this one called? Looking at all the notes I have here. Wow, that's really something. Anyway, I'll put it down in the description box. I'm sorry about that. I thought I had all my notes together here, but I know it's from Ruby and Pearl. And I think one is called Little Witch, and it's fairly new. Let me see if I can look it up on my computer while I have you here. I will just quickly try to go in there and see here. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. You know, I have notes everywhere, and between working on this and the Dark Fae, and now I can't get into my, hold on 1 second. I will get there. I will get there. I'm typing on my computer. Okay. All right. Let me get in there. Okay. Ruby and Pearl XO. And yeah, I think it might be just, no, it's got to be more than Little Witch. Little Witch. I know that's this one. And then the other one is the Herbalist, I think. The Herbalist, the Botanist, might be the Botanist. And Pressed Flowers. Yes, that's got to be the ones. But like I said, I will confirm and put it in the messages below the description box. But I did have Little Witch, the Botanist, and Pressed Flowers from Ruby and Pearl. Okay, sorry about that. So those were the kits. Also, I have so many kits I'm using, it's crazy. I have to keep them together. I also have, I'm still using the Hex Appeal from Collage Soup. That's the name of the book. I told you about that before. I'm using that. I'm using, yeah, that's what these are. Because I'm getting, oh, this is from, I bought a few kits from a shop called, wow, I'm really having a rough time here for you. Sorry about that. Witchy Art Shop Studio on Etsy. I will have it linked below. I have 5 kits from her that I purchased that I'm using. Doesn't mean you have to use them. You use what you want, and depending on what you're doing. But I have 5 kits from Witchy Art Shop Studio on Etsy. I have Witchy Life stock photos, magic herb plants, kitchen witch, moth and crystals, and coffee witch. I will link it all below. So that's where some of these other images are coming from. So this here is a gal just standing in the field. I glued one of Amy's witch hats on her. This moon is from Hex Appeal, and then I use my die cuts. These are not TIm Holtz die cuts. I have the Stampin' Up! Version of TIm Holtz die cuts, and I cut them out in grays and browns and blacks, and I glued that on there. This was the perfect envelope. I mean, obviously I didn't plan it, but I love this. So I turned her into a witch in the forest. I love it, love it. This image here, I love for Petals and Potions. You know, the witches are drying their herbs. Love this paper. And I did make a quick tag for this one because I just, you know, had to make a couple to see how it was going to be. So I took my manila folder tag, rounded the edges. I put a piece of the digital, you know, from Ruby and Pearl, whatever I had cut out. And this bottle is from the Hex Appeal book, because there's a page of those bottles in the Hex Appeal book from Collage Soup. And then this image, beautiful image of lavender, is from one of the kits of the magic herb plants from Witchy Arts Shop Studio. So, and then I just stapled on a piece of jute to pull it out. And I was so excited. I just inked it, and so I have that there. So that's the front. So I love how that turned out, okay? And then inside, I used, you know, Little Witch, the Botanist, the pressed flowers. I inked this here. And then I did make a few tags using the Magic Herb plants and the Kitchen Witch kit. Just for now, I'm not done with these. I might put a label on them. I might put something else on them. But once again, I took the manila and I took this beautiful image from the Kitchen Witch kit and I stuck it in here. But you can see when you ink the edges, you don't have to worry about any white showing, okay? So I made that tag to go there for now, but like I said, I might add more to it. I just was excited to make some tags. This long envelope here, here's a long envelope here, and if you pull this out, I have this giant tag. Isn't she cute? I have this giant tag. There's so much that you can write on in here, and I glued some of that trim on here to pull it out from the Honey Silk company that I bought, and I'll link them below too. I always buy, I love the things that they have. So I made this giant tag to fit in this giant envelope, and I love that. And then I'll show you, I just glued in some paper in the window envelopes behind there so it wouldn't be blank, but then if you have some cool looking envelopes, you know, you can leave them. And I love that you can see the witch through the window here. And on this one right now, I have another gal, and like I said, the tag's not finished yet, but there's a witch working in the Petals and Potions shop there. She's doing whatever, cooking something, and I just took some of the left, you know, my digitals, whatever I'm working with, and put that inside that envelope. And you could see I inked this envelope, so you don't have to, like, you know, cover every inch, but I think it's kind of fun when you use your inks and kind of use them as well. So that's going to go in here for now. This one, here's something, a tuck here, an envelope, and there's nothing made yet for this, so that goes there. And then this envelope here, I can decorate. There's so much to do yet. We're going to be working on these for a while. So inside there is a piece of the Little Witch digital, and then I figured this was the shop, and this image is from I think it's from the Kitchen Witch. Yeah. And then I made this, but like I said, I'll probably do something else with it. I just wanted to put something in there for now, just to get an idea of how it was. So you can see the shop. I'm saying that's what it is. And then, like I said, we can just keep decorating. Now on the back side here, I made, I used, now this was from Amy's, and here's one of my faux wax seals. And I used that image here because I thought she looked really cute on the scrap I had. So I glued that there and glued it 3 sides and made it a tuck on this pocket, and just took a piece of this and decorated it a little bit and made a little tag here for now. And then here's one of the images from the pressed flowers from Ruby and Pearl. That one I'm not done yet. This is from the Ruby and Pearl Little Witch, I think. Here's a little image I glued here. And so here on this side, here's a window, and look at that. I had it out of the dictionary called the Herbalist, and I thought that was perfect to put down there. And then here's another tag. Look at that image with the witch hat and all the herbs and pumpkins and things around it. And then I used my sprayed book page to cover the inside of that envelope. I'm loving this. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. So much fun. And then this is a small up tuck in here. So I haven't finished anything there, but I put that there to remember that that's an up tuck there. So this is just the beginning of this one. There's, you know, more tags to finish, a lot more tags to finish, and more decorating. I was thinking of putting like a couple recipes for something, or a potion, something. Just look on Pinterest. That's what I'm going to do. Just look on Pinterest. But I am loving this so far. I'm loving it. So now that I showed you that, I'm going to just try to go through. Look around in your stash. I looked for, you know, my flower dyes. I looked for stamps, anything that you have in your, depending on what, if you're making little shops with your envelopes or just decorating them for however you want. If you're not going to call them shops or whatever you're doing, just try to think of what you already have, your rubber stamps, your die cuts, you know, get whatever out and put it all out in front of you and see and look through your digital kits that you already have. You know, I did buy some because I always told you I splurge for Halloween and fall things because that's my favorite time to craft. So this one is going to be the Brooms and Brew Cafe. Okay. So, and then my third one will be the Bell Book and Candle. So the first one I just showed you is Petals and Potions shop. This one's going to be the Brooms and Brew Cafe. Oh, I didn't even tell you who works at whatever shop, but maybe I'll tell you that in the next one. So for this one, I gathered things. Let's see. I have digitals from, this is the Ruby and Pearl, some more from the Little Witch. This is really cool. I love this kit. There are a lot of images. Let me show you what else comes in that kit. This here, I love all this. Look at that. This is the Little Witch kit from Ruby and Pearl, and I think it's fantastic. I love it. And that's, I think there's a couple more pieces. There's and then there's a music page too that comes with it. So this is really, really a cute kit. So I love that. Okay, so I'm going to put that to the side. So Brooms and Brew. I'm going to use some of this. I'm also going to use, and these are just a few of this beautiful autumn fall neutral textile kit that I bought. This kit is from Little Lady Papery. These are just a couple. I bought this kit early in the year, I think, when I saw it, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to make some fall journals with this. They are gorgeous. So that's from Little Lady Papery. This is the Autumn Fall Neutral Textiles. And then I just have a couple of freebies that I got here that I might use from Liana Scrap. This was a freebie, but I think she has a kit called Halloween Nights in her Etsy shop. Like I said, I will list everything below. I think I might use some of this. So I just pulled these out for now to use for the coffee. And how I picked these is from the images that I want to use. Now, Coffee Witch kit from Witchy Art Shop Studio. I wanted to use that one. So these kits are fantastic. I don't know if she still has a sale going on, but like each digital kit is like over 100 images of things. I mean, they're huge kits and they're not expensive. So, and the images are so cool. So the images I'm going to show you are just a few I picked out from Coffee Witch. I thought that would be a cute little shop, saying that's the shop. Look at this witch sitting on a bench enjoying her coffee. Here's like inside the coffee shop. And look at this. You could say that's one of their spell books with coffee. I mean, that's just a few images. So many images to pick from. It's almost gives me a headache just looking at them all. Also, I'm pulling out some of my dyed book page, the sprayed with the oxide, what are the sprays called? The mica sprays from TIm Holtz that I made before, because I think these are going to go good with the colors. And also I wanted to show you this page here was from Hex Appeal, the collage soup book the ebook that I've told you I'm using. So there's a page of these to use. And also I've had these images cut from my Daphne's Diary magazine. I don't know, you know, I cut them out and they're like looking down in a cup and they're ingredients for these teas. So I cut them out to use. So I was just looking through whatever I had to use. And then remember the kit that we bought from, I used them in the fairy journal that I made for Amy. This is from Amy. These are Amy's bottles here, the purple ones from her Dark Fae kit in here. But these were the bottles that I used in the fairy journal. And I'm using them, I think I'll probably use them in the Dark Fae journal too. But if you need potion bottles, if you have this kit already, you can use these bottles too. So, and I have, I don't have them right by me, but I have die cuts of cups and things like that. Oh, this is another cute called Witch's Brew by Gypsy Crafter. I'm sorry I'm showing you all these kits, but I'm excited to use them. I want to show you what's out there just in case you want to do it as well. But look at these images here. This was a really cute kit of all these special brews like this. And I think that they're perfect size for journal cards. So cut them out. And I think they go perfect with what I'm doing here. And there's like 4 sheets of them. So you get 4 on a sheet. So there's like 16 different images. And I think they're really cool looking. So I'm going to use these, some for journal cards. Okay. I am just so excited. Oh, I'll just show you really quick here that one kit I got called Magic Herb Plants from Witchy Art Studio Shop. This, I printed them out this size. I'm just giving you an idea of how many. Look at these beautiful images here. Look at that. I mean, these could be used for a farm journal, a country home journal, whatever. But then she also has these. I love these images with the hat, the witch hat, and the veggies and things. I think they're just beautiful. This one, my printer was acting up. That's the one I cut the top of the witch off to use on that big journal card. But let me just give you a quick view of all the different herbs you get and flower bouquets and oh, there's so much more. But this is what I'm saying. These can be used for farm journals, so not just the journal we're making, but can be used in other type of journals. So that's what I like about it. All right, I guess I talked enough of that, right? So okay, so I thought about this big envelope that I used here, and I said I don't want to just make a giant tag. I want to make some kind of a folder or a booklet. So I looked through, I had some scrapbook paper. I know it was from Michael's a few years ago, but if I show you some of it, because obviously the cover's gone, it's like the Herbal Witch. It's like, I'll show you. If you recognize it, it's got the greens, it's got that in there, it's got some copper foiling on some of the pages. See, Spellbook, Green Witch. I know this is from, and there's purples and crows. That. I know it was from, and mushrooms, a lot of mushroom things. Because I had made the herbal grimoire. See that? So if this looks familiar, you might even have it. I don't have the cover, so I don't know the name. But I know it was from Michael's a few years ago. So I took this green page with the skeleton hand and the whatever, and I measured it and folded it to make like a folder, just to say, hey, yeah, I think that would be cool to make. and put in here. There's a big enough space, and that will hold something other than just a tag. So think about that when you have bigger envelopes. If you can make something more than just a tag, just like a booklet or a accordion thing. So I don't know. That's as far as I got on that. I have no idea what I'm doing. I did go ahead and pre-cut some of those things, but I think I'm gonna have to take them out because to ink, I'm gonna just write inside. I just wanted to show you inside left. I'm not gonna remember. Sometimes when you look at all these, you're not gonna remember what that was cut for. So I'm just going, if you want to do that, just make sure you mark them. Inside left, inside right, front, back. Okay? I know what that one will be. And I know that one will be top. So I can take these out now. That's if you wanted to just go ahead and pre-cut those ahead of time. Just wanted to show you what those were. And then I can take this out. And making these are so fun because they're all different. Each page is different. I'm going to put these to the side. So I got them all out. So now I'm back to the envelope. So now that I showed you, I'm looking at the papers here. So I think I'm going to be using vintage photo and maybe a little black, because that's kind of the base of the Brooms and Brew Cafe, which I need to find some brooms. I have to see if I have any of my digitals. I'm not sure. So I'm glad we are doing this weekly through, to Halloween, because I just want to savor every moment of this. And really, really enjoy the process. And I want to just go slow, And I like that it's involved and it's not an easy project. I mean, it's easy to do, but it's more involved. It's going to take a long time. And maybe you might not be following my ideas, although I would love you to follow my ideas if you are. I know some of you are making big journals. Let me get I need a napkin here. Let's see. Of course, I don't have one. Let me get up and get a napkin because I want to ink around the window here, but it'll get on the window, but it's okay because you could wipe it off the window. So I'm going to just go around the window because, I don't have to get the papers right up there if I don't want to. So it's just kind of and I'm using vintage photo if I didn't say that. I'm just going around the window. It makes it easier. You don't, I just tear the papers and then I don't have to, worry about getting it covered because there's white showing. And I think that was helpful to me. So did you girls and guys, did you make any witches for your Spellbound book? Or are you just going to make it like kind of a, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you have any witches living in your Spellbound? Oops, see, now I have to glue that. And you'll see little spots to that you can fix and glue down again. It's not a big deal. So there, I can just, and I don't mind if a little stays on there. Now I pulled that up, but that's okay. I'll fix that. Okay, and then I'm going to keep going all the way around. And at least maybe we'll get this all inked so you can see what I said about inking the edges. And then maybe we could start collaging because I think we all are okay with collaging, right? Hopefully we're all good at collaging. So But I will be doing this with you. Now I'm going to go over the edges here, just like this. And just like that. I mean, this could be covered here, but I don't know. So I'm just inking it anyway. Better be safe than sorry, right? This is all one piece. There's nothing here, so I'm not going to worry about that. I do want to do the middle because, you know, you're not going to glue paper in exactly the middle. So I want to make sure whatever colors you're using, you want to ink your middle up. And then when I had papers and I still saw part of the envelope, I just took a piece of whatever. Like you could see, I put a piece of the book page, a scrap of book page in there. Sometimes I laid this piece over the crease so it would crease fine. I could see this is lifting up because it's kind of right in the crease, but I can fix that. But like here, I inked it, but there was nothing, you know, there was like envelope print showing here. So I just put a little piece of paper there. That's all I did. So like if you happen to see, you know, the words here or something, you can do that with your scrap of paper, like just a scrap of paper, right? I have them all in front of me here. My desk is a mess because there's so much I want to put in here. So, but like, I know I kind of went crazy showing you all kind of kits and stuff like that, but just so you know, I will do my best to link it. And if there's something you're not quite sure, you know, give me a time frame, like a timestamp of where you saw something and you're not sure what kit it's from or whatever, and I will look and tell you. So we're just going to go around here. Okay. And of course the openings here, you want to make sure you get those covered. And your ends. So I don't know if you like when you're crafting, if you put like a YouTube on, you know how they have those channels that have sounds and, you know, music and stuff and pretty scenes and all that. Well, there's a couple I've been watching for a while for, you know, to get in the mood for Halloween, autumn, fall crafting. Two of my favorites, I can mention it to you. They're YouTube channels. And that's what they have, is different scenes with sounds and things. And I could leave that on. I can even turn the sound off and just have the picture on my computer or my little TV on my desk here. And it's just so much fun. And the Calming Cauldron is one channel. And the other channel is New Darkness. So check them out if you like that kind of a thing, you know, just to have something on in the background, unless you know, one of the gals that like to listen to audiobooks, or you just have music playing, you know, whatever. But I mean, if you're in the mood for just a spooky scene on your TV and just some nice background sounds and things like that, check those two channels out. You might enjoy them. I do. So just thought I'd share that with you. There's so many kinds of those channels out for anything and everything you could imagine. And I think that's really cool. I enjoy those. They're great to craft too. Okay. Like I said, I'm not too, it comes right off the window, but I mean, I'm not worried that if it doesn't, but it does, it comes right off. I guess if you didn't wipe it right away and left it, it might not, but so far so good. I have to maybe give my vintage photo ink pad a re-inker, huh? That's kind of all one cover, so I'm going to get up here and get this done. And if you start collaging and you feel that you missed a spot, just go back in there and ink it up over your collage. That's fine too, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. But doing these pages, oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun. So you can see what I did on the inside. Okay, so I know we're at 40 minutes already. So what I can do is, I think you get the idea of the inking part, right? So the next thing, after I would ink this whole thing, I would go and probably put papers inside the windows first. And you, like I said, you have your papers gathered already, which I do. These are my coffee shop papers that are going to be for the Brooms and Brew coffee shop. Not knowing what kind of tags, just pick something that you want to cover up inside the window. Sometimes I have scraps in front of me, but the scraps I have in front of me are from this one, which I will use up eventually. But for this shop here, I want to use something different now. I love this section, this thing here. It has Moonlight, I Put a Spell on You, Witchy, All Hallows Eve, Black Cat Sisters, We Fly, Trick or Treat. I mean, you could cut those and use them or leave it like that. I like that. So I think, let's see, for this tall one here, since I need a bigger piece, I'm going to look for a big piece, and I don't mind using either that, or I can use some of this in there for interest. I might just use a piece of this just to make it that way. So I'm going to just measure a piece, and I'll show you how I put it in there. You don't have to worry, it's going to work. So, and I just don't need a full piece, but I'm going to cut a piece. I'm going to cut it about three and a half inches. I'm going to cut it 3.5 inches. So I'm going to try that and see how that works there. So I'll cut a piece about 3.5 inches. And then I'm going to push that in there just to make sure, and then I'll know how far to trim it at the top. You see, that's a big piece, but I love how that looks already. So I am just going to pull it out a smidge, give it a mark, pull it back out, and trim it. Now, where did I make my mark? There it is. I see it a little. I see it. Turn it around, Nance. Okay. Okay. Trim that off. Save that because we'll need it, right? And then what you can do is just ink an edge. Doesn't matter. Just ink the edge that's going to be on the top just to cover that part up. I'm going to slide this in like that. Like that. Slide it in. Should go all the way in. It should. Okay, get in there. There we go. Okay, now what I'm going to do to make it stay in there, I'm going to take my glue, make sure it's going to work here. Okay. What I do, and this is how I do all the pockets, it's going to butt up to the edge. So if you have to pull it up a little or whatever, pull it up. Another thing you can do if you want to is, if you can open it without ripping your envelope, you can kind of get in there and do a little bit of this edge here, but it's not necessary. I didn't do it on all of them. So put that in, butt it up to the edge of the envelope here so you don't really see your white. Can you see that, how I have that in there? Okay, once I have it where I want it, I'm just going to lift that black piece up, and I'm going to put glue along the edge of the envelope here where the paper goes, right like that. And then press that down. And by gluing that, we'll keep that piece in place and it will not come out. It won't come out. So that's the way I do that, and it works fine. And your tag won't pull it up or anything. It's going to be fine. So there's that one. This one here I want to do. So let's see. I want to definitely do maybe a autumny piece. Let's try one of these. Maybe one of these pieces, darker ones. Maybe I'll do this one. I like this one with the leaves. Oh, I should do maybe one of the spiderweb ones. Since that's black, maybe I'll do one of these instead. Let's see. Let's try it with the spiderweb. Now I got to see where this window's going to be, because I want to see spiderweb in the window, and I'll do it this way. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to mark it about where I want to cut it. So I'll cut that off. Because I definitely want to see spiderweb in the... Looking for my mark that I made. Okay, there's that. And then I'm going to see about how far I'm going to put it in. Okay, so I'm going to make another trim here. Got another nice little piece. Now let's try and make sure that fits in there clearly. Oh yes, I love the web. Now let's see, do I need to cut it more than that? That should go there. Yeah, I need to cut it a little more. So I'm going to cut it more. Hopefully I'm still on screen. I keep moving this around. Okay, get it in there. You might have to lift up, open that envelope up a little, get it right up flush with the edge. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same. I love seeing that. I'm going to get my glue, because I have it up to the edge there, as you can see. And I'm going to run the glue along the edge here where the paper is. And then you can even use your bone folder to lift up the envelope and press down the paper part. Okay, and there's that one. Okay, so that's how I'm doing the window envelopes. All right, so I can show you that part. So now what we can do is start collaging. So let me get some papers, get these papers back here. I'll just do a little bit of collaging to get you started, and then we can move along. So I think this is the hard part, trying to decide what to start with, but once you start, it's good. It's easy. So I think maybe I'm going to start with this page here. I don't know why, I just am. I think that's what I want to start with. Oh, I just wanted to show you, I had an idea of the front here. I probably should have started, because I already kind of have my idea, but I figured once I collage this page, like say if I were to use this on the front here, I wanted to make sure I picked a good background, because, well, I think I would use a dark one there, but I thought she would look really cute on the front. And then maybe up here could be the shop here, and she would be down there. So, you know, this is the Brooms and Brew. So you see how I'm using these images to kind of introduce the shop, you know. So that's kind of my idea of what's going on here. Just so you know, how I'm going to use them. But let's just get started. I'm going to, let's see, what am I doing here? I'm just trying to see. I want to use, and I think I'm going to use this one. I might save this one for the front because she pops off and goes really nice with that one. So I'm going to save that piece for the front. And I think I'm going to start in here. Now here on this envelope here, I can use APs because that's a pocket there. So I could actually go all the way across this one. And I use my tear ruler because I like the torn edge. So let's see how that's too short, so I have to do it that way. So we could do that. And just when you see all the images in those kits that you can decorate with along, you know, we're just covering the base with this. But once we start decorating with the coffee cups and the coffee pots and the, you know, you have to look at those kits. Just take a look at them at least and see, because I think if you're doing it like this, oops, you're going to love it. I'm not on a flat surface here, so I got to try to, my paper doesn't want to rip today. Let me move this off here. That's probably my problem. So I know I have to rip it that way. Yeah, see? Make sure you're on a flat surface. That wasn't a very good. Let me get a new clean cut here. A new clean. I should know better to do it flat. See? Some days I have really good tearing days. And I know some people struggle with these, but I usually don't. But today I am. No problem. So I'm going to do the bottom, since this is all the way across, and it's okay to do that. So this way I don't have to, by inking all those edges, I want to see the, I'm going to make a mark of where I'm tearing. I want to see those edges. So I'm going to cut here, tear here, and I'm going to tear here. So I'm going to do the long tear first. And once again, move this out of my way so I don't ruin it. Pencil mark, where are you? Right there. Okay. And if you tear straight towards you, it seems to work the best. And I do ink the edges of my papers too, so they'll blend in real nice. But that's just my personal preference. So this looks good. I love how it's looking. And now I'm going to do this tear here. It's hard to start, you know, you get kind of overwhelmed a little, I could say. I did. But once you just start tearing and working on it, it starts flowing. And put on a good movie, put on a spooky movie, put on some spooky music, or put on one of those Esmer YouTube channels I showed you. And yeah, it's really, really a fun time. At least it is for me. I'm enjoying. I know you out there that are following Spellbound are gonna love doing this. So I know I don't have to sell it. I know you are with me on this. From the amount of views I have on this series and your wonderful comments, I know you're with me on this. So I'm so happy to be doing this with you. And I just can't wait to see how this is going to come along and where it's taken us. I really can't wait. So you see, now that it's inked and I can see edges, I'm loving that. Just think what we can do here. We can put extra pockets on there, everything. All right, so, okay, I need a glue book. Let me reach under my desk here and get a glue book. I get these books from these magazines. They're free from the library. And so if you go to your local library, they probably have them. Ooh, a new glue stick. Don't you love that? I still have some of these left, but I did buy my Oohoo glues. So, but there's nothing like opening a brand new glue stick, right? I know. Or a brand new bottle of glue. So yeah, they have those books. As a matter of fact, they had a lot of leftover older issues up on the second floor where the adult books sections are. And I took a few because they're free and they're just trying to get rid of them. So I am going to do this. Oh, I got to move it over. Too much on one side here. Let's try that again. And if my head's in the way, I'm sorry. Make sure I have enough on both sides, and that once you get it there, secure it down. And like I said, if you get an area that lifts up, you can always, squeeze some glue in there. So I am not going to fold this because that's what you have the urge to fold it. Let it dry flat. Once it's all dried, then you could fold it, and once you fold it, you can run your bone folder down the crease, and it's fine. But don't fold it. We already know that. Don't fold it while it's wet. Okay, so let's continue on. Let's see what else we can do here. I am grabbing from the papers that I showed you. I'm wondering how maybe I could use, I need a strip here, don't I? Yes, I do. I wonder how that would be if I did that. That might work. Oh, I need a bigger. No, I'm going to piece it. I'm going to piece it. So I'm going to tear ruler. Thank you. Give myself an edge here. Now remember, it's going to be like a coffee shop color with the browns and the blacks and the beiges and creams. But boy, is it going to be fun when we start making tags and adding all these elements that we have to the outside and the tags of everything. So I want to cut a piece of this to go here. And I'm just going to go up to the window. So that's going to be, I'm just going to give myself a fold mark here, right up to about here, more or less. I'm not worried because I inked. So let's get that torn. And just, doesn't have to be perfect for sure. I'm going to do it. Okay, and it's going to fit fine and if I have to ink a little more envelope, I will. Now see, I like that. I like how that's looking. I'm just going to give a little more ink in here. Make it darker and cover a little more. That's cool. Okay, so that's going to go here like that. And then I'm going to give it a tear right up there. So that's how I did this whole thing. Okay. I just kind of went around, see where I wanted, pieces to be, and just tear them and fit them in. It's like a puzzle now. It was a puzzle putting the envelopes together, but it's also like a puzzle, covering it now. And make sure, that's why I put little X's where the openings were, so you don't accidentally glue over one of your pockets or tucks, okay? So that's why it's important to leave the X's there. Because that could happen. All right. I'll just do a few more because we're already at an hour. I could sit here all day and do this with you if I could, but I would never be able to upload the video. So we'll just take it slow and enjoy it, right? Just take it slow. That's all. This is a great project to do if you're like on vacation. You can bring all your stuff. Let's see here. Bring your papers with you. Do it at your house, if you're on vacation at a lake house. You can do it outside, or because it's going to be so crazy hot here in Illinois, and and you don't go outside, this is a great project to do on the inside. Even though it's 90 something and the heat index is 100 and something, I can play spooky music and pretend I'm in the fall, I'm in my fall mood here. So see how nice that's looking already? And I could take, I have some scraps here of this, so I can definitely, you know, look to see what I have here. There's a scrap, and I think that might fit just perfect there. I'm going to make it work there. I love that. So keep all your scraps in front of you and use as many as you can so we don't waste our paper and ink. I had to order some more ink for my printer, so I did that. I've got a nice stack of paper. I think I'm going to put the black strip on the outside there like that. So that's going to go there. And then I do like this for here. It's a little wide. I'm looking on over here to see what I have in front of me here that I could use. Okay, I'm going to use this, but I think I'm going to tear it down. I'm going to use this part here. So I am going to tear it right there. And then it can go over the window a little too. It's not over much of the window, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. Oops, this blew away on me here. That's going to go there. And then glue, glue, glue. I think I'll finish this one envelope and I'll let you go then. So I'm going to put that there. Okay, and that's good. And I don't mind that it covered part of the window. And then this piece here is going to go here. So I am going to put that there. Let me just rip this in case it shows a little. Okay. But this is a really, really fun thing to do. These, I hope you made some. You were able to make some envelope collage pages for your journal, and that you're gonna do this because, and I will list everything I possibly can down below so you know what I use. But like I said, if I'm missing something and you want to know about it, just message me like you do, and down below, say it in the comments, and I will get that info if I missed it. Okay, so see how that envelope is over here? I'm going to cover that little spot there to keep it down, I think, and I'm not worried about that. It doesn't bother me. Card. It doesn't bother me, that little spot there. So I just wanted to keep that part down because that'll help. And up here, I'm not worried because I'll just add some more ink up here and it's going to blend in with everything. Okay, so that's kind of how I started this. I think I kind of gave you some good starting instructions, did I? About how to go about this. See, like I have the glue stick might not get all the edges, but this is where you come in with your wet glue and you can just get those taken care of, right? It will work. So, all right, so now I'm gonna, I'll probably, I don't know if I'll continue with this one. I might come back and continue this one with you. And then, like I said, I still have so much more to do here. So maybe I'll come back and we'll continue working on this one with collaging and filling, the envelopes up, okay? So, all right, friends, thanks so much for hanging with me. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. And have a great weekend and stay warm or cool depending on where you're at. Take care now. Bye.